Can you please explain to me how people can be so unbelievably stupid?
Before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump because of what he's doing and the access that he is allowing.
Musk. So listen, I just want y'all to be honest. You want to sit here, you want to lie, because so often we hear, well, yeah, we did lie. In fact, he admitted that he lied when he was in the Oval Office yesterday. But if it's a lie that will get you into office. Now, I know that people are confused right now because for whatever reason, we had a guy that went in, and you talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things, because I don't understand, if you are trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying, and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
It's time for
the
us
gentlelady's
to do our
time has
job
expired.
and rein in this rogue actor known
The gentlelady's
as
time has expired. I now recognize.
Yes, these issues of condoms in Gaza is living rent-free on Crazy Democrat. A question surfaced to Elon Musk at the White House about this because they realized this was actually tilted into different locations. Elon Musk's response to this question was okay. Sometimes we make mistakes. But this lady you are seeing here is melting down like she is a perfect human being on earth. This is as a result. When you put ghetto in Congress, you will get this. She makes a lot of noise. You can pass a point why being peaceful or talking slow. So I don't get the point why she always do this. Out of 50 people, she always want that people should know that she's around. It is crazy. And sometimes I don't even want to do videos linking to this lady, but we just have to report so you can see exactly what is going on.
Before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump because of what he's doing and the access that he is allowing. So there's great transparency. As for the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them, and I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent, and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that DOGE found across our government. This is a DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce, another DEI contract that DOGE identified. I can continue to go through these. Oh, I love this one, $57,000 for climate change in Sri Lanka. What is this doing to continue the interests of the American people? Absolutely nothing. These are the line items across the federal government that DOGE is identifying daily. They're moving very fast. There's a lot of paper that we can show you, but we're happy to do it. This administration has been more than transparent about what DOGE is doing. And here's one of their tweets that they posted about the mine. I believe this is in Pennsylvania, where the federal employee retirement system is being processed. Did anybody know this was even happening in our country before Elon Musk talked about it in the Oval Office yesterday? A lot of Americans didn't. So we are providing transparency and accessibility on a daily basis when it comes to DOGE. And I also have a DOGE daily report, if anybody would like it, on all of the things that they are identifying and finding. We're happy to provide this information to you. We're talking about it every single day.
What does the response of the Trump administration send to any federal bureaucrats that are thinking about obstructing the president's agenda?
They will be held accountable. The president is signing executive orders daily, and he expects all officials across the administration, regardless if they are a political appointee or if they are a career bureaucrat, to adhere to the will of the American people and the 77 million Americans who reelected President Trump. He's here for a reason, and he is focused every day on implementing his administration's goals and sending $59 million to a migrant hotel to house immigrants when there are still people in North Carolina and California who have not received FEMA funding is not something that this administration is going to tolerate.
If you are trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The gentlelady's time has expired.
And rein in this rogue actor known
as
Yes, this is the difference between the Trump administration and Biden White House. You are seeing the difference. She was never responding to questions. They were never transparent, like what I'm observing here. There are a lot of things. They are open. They are telling you what these people are finding. Very simple as that. But Democrats will still complain. Tell me they are not transparent enough. These same complaints these were putting out, I didn't see that with the Biden administration. When you ask Karen a question about something, she will tell you, I will refer you back to this. Even drawing back into the days of Jen Psaki, it is the same thing she was doing. Cycle back, cycle back. But she's not doing that. That's a difference. So when you see these people complaining or ranting, just reflect on how they were protecting the Biden administration. They're doing the opposite now. Tell me if there's no transparency about what Elon Musk is doing. I really want you to know.
Unbelievably baffling to me is the complete absence of the coverage of all these things that should be very concerning in mainstream media. Complete absence. All the discussion, the negative anti-Trump discussion about U.S. aid shutting down is all the good that it does. And then also you're going to get access to people's private data. That's all you're hearing. You're hearing the gaslighting spin is those two things.
And final thing for you, which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus. Many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the president questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
These are the kind of things they focus on. Real question that this CNN Kaitlan will focus on, she will not. She will focus on only these issues of reporters because they want to pick up a story to go and sing like a song on CNN. Yes, you might be hearing this. You don't understand exactly what is going on. Recently, I think the very first day Trump was inaugurated, he said, I'm renaming the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. And everywhere they have updated it. You check Google, Apple, in fact, everywhere they've updated that. This AP reporter, I don't know if it was an article, they instructed this reporter to go and edit it like the Gulf of America. It's like they gave a timeline to do this. Along the way, she never did that. I don't know whether it's a he or a she. He never corrected that.
Who was the one standing, taking most of the questions, having the president in this odd, jarring setting, looking up to him? Well, it was Elon.
Why is the administration so eager to allow Elon Musk and his hackers to have access to proprietary and private information?
For 2 weeks, we heard this idea that they spent $50 million on condoms in Gaza. Right. It's not even Gaza in the Middle East. It's Gaza in Mozambique. They didn't even know that. There's a meme going around that I have to show. Only 4% of those.
Thank you guys for always sharing on my videos. I don't want to make it long. If you see clips behind here, this is for the algorithm. Someone asked me, is it helping your channel? Yes, it is helping the channel. If it was not helping, I would not put.
Mind-boggling that he would be shutting down PEPFAR.
A bully and a thug who's the president of the United States, U.S., it's everywhere.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits.
A chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole U.S. aid thing, where they're uncovering massive amounts of corruption.
And also, I got to say, don't you agree? I totally agree.
Essential.
Early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
To her.
The EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And
awful things have happened. And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are quality and policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need.
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking straight. Remember it.
As a country about
And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know.
Jim Jordan.
Josh Green, the governor. Watch the news or talk.
Now look, I have a lot of.
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today.
So clarifying that.
Here's what I think is a joke.
and this is big. So the